Welcome to Selling Tri-Cities, where we are selling more than homes. This project was created to share our love and passion for this beautiful part of the country that we are lucky enough to call home. We want to showcase the small businesses, the entrepreneurs, and the beauty that makes the Appalachian Highlands one of the most desirable markets in the nation. But most importantly, we want to introduce you to the people that make this area such a wonderful place to live. So join us as we sell you on our love for the Tri-Cities. Hello and welcome to another episode of Selling Tri-Cities, where we are selling more than homes. Today we have a special co-host, Miss Gregg Pechmann, officially. Today we're with owner, founder, CEO, author, personal trainer, everything.
All that is
of Lady Fit. We're really excited to have her here. I know we personally know her and love her. We've taken her classes. And she's inspired us, and so we're really excited to share her story, her journey, and everything that has kind of brought her to where she is today, and a little bit about how she's helping so many women across the globe now,
yes.
Which is
Huge.
mind-blowing. So why don't you kind of tell us, we have so much to unpack, like I don't even really know where to get started, but I really kind of want to start a little bit with just talk briefly about your past and kind of how you got here and what the biggest reason and hurdle was maybe to get you to open Lady Fit. What made you decide that you needed something like this?
Let me start. Where do I start? So I have actually taught for 11 years, so that sounds like a long time when you say that, but so I've taught for 11 years, so fitness was kind of like a side gig because I was a single mom. I needed to get something else to add to my plate because I was in school and I was working 2 other jobs, and I was like, I want to teach Zumba. I love it. Why not? So did that, and I actually decided once I started it that I was like, I'm going to do my own thing because guys were coming to my classes. First off, I had no issue with guys. I always get asked that. Do you not like guys? I'm married. I'm a boy mom, so I have no issues with guys. But I also needed a space that I was comfortable in because I had a past that, if you follow me on any social media, I'm very open, I'm very open that, I have a past with, looking over my shoulder and being like, oh, my anxiety's really bad. So I needed a space for ladies like me and y'all who can relate that walking into a gym is very intimidating. Walking into a gym and you're like, oh, are they looking at me? All the things. So I decided I wanted a space for ladies only where we could come and work out, be sweaty, not worry about what we looked like at the end, that, we could sit here, have fun. If you want to smack each other's butts, that's okay. We allow that, no big deal. That you could sit here and just be yourself and forget about being a mom and being a wife and having a career or, going home and have to do the homework and all the mom things or the wife things and just be yourself for 30 minutes and nothing else mattered. So kind of was a little bit my past because, I struggled and I needed to have that safe place. And then I realized there's so many other ladies that are like me and wanted that without the fellas around. So it was nice.
Yeah. I love that. I've taken classes here. I think you probably have taken classes here, but it was always so fun. Like the environment was so fun. It's always like in the dark and the music is blaring and like it was just fun to dance around and burn 500 calories just laughing and feeling super comfortable. So I love that you have created that space. So where are you now? So you started, 11 years ago.
Yeah.
But where are you now?
So now the company is turned 6 in July, which is, that's really crazy to me because when I started it, I had no idea what I was doing. Let me just put that out there. I had no idea what I was doing. So when I opened Lady Fit, it'll officially be 6 years, but when I opened it, I was like, okay, I'm just going to teach dance classes. I like to dance, and then it kind of turned into, well, let me do virtual classes. So I started virtual classes. I had a girl in Florida reach out, begged me. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Recorded them on my phone, y'all. Started on my phone recording classes live. And then I was in Oregon, and then I think the next one was like in Wisconsin. I was like, okay, this might work. The pandemic hit. Thought I was going to lose everything, and I was actually in a smaller studio, and this one kind of fell in my lap, and it was my dream studio, and virtual classes took off. They just kind of like, we were at home, so they took off, and then once I opened back up, it's not a gym, per se. The gym's across the street, so it wasn't a gym. There was not equipment. It was kind of cleaner. You didn't have all the things to be touched. So after that, it actually I hate to say it, almost doubled what I was doing because girls wanted that and they found me doing it at home and all the things. So I was like, okay. And then I took one more leap of faith and decided to have instructors. Because why not have ladies in all the other towns and not just have it in mine? So the studio's here, but I have instructors teaching classes, building girl gangs like I did, so that everybody else can have this. So it's not just like, oh, it's only in Tennessee, I can't make it because, I'm in Mississippi or, whatever. They can actually have this in their town and teach it and build what I built with my help.
No excuses.
No excuses.
No excuses.
None at all.
Which I think is awesome because I think now, everybody is so busy.
Yes.
I constantly have a hard time finding when I'm going to get my time in. And every day it's different. Sometimes it's 5:45 a.m., sometimes it's noon, sometimes it's 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Everybody is just so busy with life, kids, work, whatever it is. And so the fact that they can get online and they can see your classes and there are no excuses.
Right, yeah.
You can get on and do it and have fun. You can lock yourself in your bedroom and your living room, whatever it is,
Yes.
and spend that time for yourself, which you can't get if you're going to another gym. You can't just
Yeah.
do that online.
Yeah.
So I love that it's a way to, and honestly, your classes are fun. I feel like they're
Yes.
a mind reset.
It's like a mental thing. It's like, okay, am I really working out or am I up here actually at the club shaking my booty?
Yes, and I think that is one of the things that's also so unique about what you do is because it's a mental reset too,
Yeah.
and not just something you do physically for yourself. I think
Yeah.
that it's, it just inspires you, empowers you. I feel like you can walk out and
Yes.
all right, I just had fun. I
Yes.
feel like a woman.
You're walking out and be like, okay, let me show you what I did. I think one thing that I love that I've built is that, and I tell people, they're like, I can't walk in. I'm like, yes, you can. And I've walked outside and been like, do you want me to hold your hand? Do you want me just to walk in with you? But once you walk in here, you see, I say, it's all empowering. There's no mean girls. There's none of this. And I mean that. What you see is what you get with me. I'm very, cut and dry. This is just who I am. And so when you walk in here, you see that, I have my girls with me for 9 years. So the new girls that have been here a week, but they're talking to you. They're acting, you're one of us when you walk in here because there's nothing else like this. And I'm sitting here fighting tooth and nail and every day, head down to build this in other states so girls can have this and have this safe environment and feel confident walking into a gym and being like, oh, I know what I'm doing. I started in the back. I'm going to go to the front. I might be on stage before this is over. Some of them get on stage. I'm like, what are you doing? You want to
I remember the second, first time I went to the second row. It was after a couple weeks of kind of learning the moves. I was like, I got this.
Yeah.
And I remember you probably even pointed at me right here, there's a hole right here for you, Aubrey. Right here with
Right
your name
there,
on it.
yes.
I kind of like it back here and nobody can see me.
And I'm like, I still can see you. They walk in and
But
they're
it
like,
was fun.
yeah, they're like, you want me to move my butt? I'm like, move your butt. Let loose. I guess we forget when we're moms and we're wives and, we have careers and jobs and all the things that's going on. You're allowed to make time for yourself. You're allowed to make time for your goals. Even if it's, 12 o'clock one day, 5 o'clock the other day. If it means that you have to get up 30 minutes earlier with no excuses. I see you doing that. Sitting there and getting up earlier while the kids are asleep or your husband, there's nothing wrong with that. And I feel like moms, especially and wives and ladies, we forget that, we're somebody before we were all these other things. Take all the hats off and just be yourself. Just be Kaylin, just be Carrie, just be Aubrey, because there's nothing wrong with that. And the world's trying to tell us to go, go, go. You're allowed to breathe and enjoy what, you're building and what you're doing. And work out because it's fun.
So what keeps you motivated?
Honestly, my biggest motivation is probably my two boys. Because I see them, Braylon's only known this, my youngest, he's 8, so he's never seen me do anything other than this. And then Aiden, I was a single mom. Well, I'm going to get emotional. I was a single mom though, but I was trying to build something because I was a girl on food stamps. I was a girl who had no worth. I was a girl who was depressed, and I met my second husband, and he honestly was like, you have a story, use it. You have a voice, use it. And my child, sat there at 3 years old playing his little Legos in the rundown community center, sitting there playing, and he was watching me on stage do this thing, and he didn't know anything else. And he's like, okay, but my kids are sitting here watching me build from the ground up. They see the negative comments. My son's actually commented back to one of the YouTubers who, was being ugly, and I'm like, you're 9, you can't say that. You can't do that, honey. Yeah, he's like, but mom, they shouldn't be mean to you, So they see the negative side. They see when my social media took off, the mean stuff that's said, and they see, the nights I come home and I'm just completely defeated, and it's so mentally, but they see I keep fighting, and I'm making them see that, whatever you want, you have to fight for. It's not going to come easy, and I tell them that all the time, opening your own business is not easy. You know, doing your own career is not easy. But if you want it, then you'll fight for it every single day. So definitely, probably my 2 boys are my biggest, like, motivating, even though they drive me crazy. You know, so.
Don't they all?
Yeah, don't they all? You're like, okay.
So kind of touching on that, because that was a wonderful question. I love your story. I know if you know Kaylin, you know that she wrote a book, which
Yes.
is a huge thing, right? I mean, most people are not vulnerable. They don't have the courage, I think, to be vulnerable enough to put their life out there. And I think that it's just so amazing that you did. So talk to us a little bit about, you know, the book, why you decided to put that on paper, you know, for everybody to see, because I think that's huge and it's super inspiring. And I think it's one of the biggest reasons why people have such a big love and respect for you is because you tell people that you can do it.
Yeah.
You know, like you can get past it. We've all been through some shit, excuse me. But you know, you can do it. You can build this life and you can overcome those fears. And I love that.
I was crazy, decided to write it. That's what I say. I'm like, I was crazy. And the fun thing, and I like to tell people this because I'm dyslexic. So like being like, I wrote a book, they're like, I'm like, yeah, I did. Like it's hilarious in itself that I can be like, I had a really good editor, y'all. But honestly, I wrote the book, and I don't think people realize, I wrote that book in 3 months. Like, I sat down and just started typing. I decided one day, and I remember me and my husband actually talking about it. I was like, I think I want to write a book. He's like, okay, write a book. And I'm like, just write a book? He's like, just start typing. So I literally just sat down and started typing it, and it was, you know, all over the place. It was from me having, you know, a miscarriage, and to me having, you know, my eating disorder, and to me trying to, you know, end my life because I was so miserable in my depression and being in therapy, and then my mom going through breast cancer, and all the things that was going on in a divorce and my drinking problem. And I literally just sat down and it was like word vomit. And sometimes I'd wake up at like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I have to go type. And my husband's like, okay, go ahead and go do it. Because some of it I had to relive, and it was hard. It was hard for me to sit there, things that I'd pushed down, and relive them all. But I think the funny part was when I got it back and I was reading it, I was like, I didn't know I said that. Like, I didn't know I put that out there. I almost was like, some of the times I had to be depressed and hit a low to live it, you know, to go through the Me Too stories and, you know, to talk about, like, I remember it to the day and hearing the clock and all that. But the people who came to me and was like, oh, well, I've struggled with, you know, my body. And the people who's told me that, I feel like someone else understands it. And the girls who were like, I understand what you're going through, and you didn't go to the store for years, you know. And the girls talking to me about, you know, they binged eat, or, you know, they had anxiety. It was worth it because I finally felt like all the therapy I went through, all the medicine I did, all, you know, the deep, like, talks, that was the best thing I ever did. And it was like releasing everything, and it's like, here it is. I'm going to be judged, but this is what I've been through, and so many other girls have been through it. And it honestly was like, it was sad to me, but for the first time I didn't feel alone. I felt like somebody actually got it, and it was like the studio was built off of that. I mean, that was actually, it came out in the middle of the pandemic. My book did.
Yeah.
April 20th is when that book was released, in the middle of and I was like, one person's going to buy it, and all these people kept buying it, and all these people kept sending me messages like, look, I got it. I'm like, you shouldn't read that. Just put it down. It's okay. You don't need it. So I didn't expect that, and I was like, okay, and still people are buying it. I mean, like, new people who keep finding me are like, I bought your book, and I'm like, why did you buy that? Like, it's okay. It's already out there.
Plug, because I love the title of it. But what is the title?
It's actually one of my tattoos too. Know Your Worth and Add Tax.
And where can you find it?
Amazon. And I totally believe and live by that motto. Like, you really have to know your worth and add tax and not take crap off people and be true to who you are. And if people don't like it, they're not for you.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Real and unfiltered.
Real and unfiltered. I'm going to call my podcast then. Just add something else to it, you know.
I think that that's one of the reasons why people can commemorate with you so much is because they've seen you go through it.
Yeah.
And you give them the encouraging, you know, well, Kaylin's went through it, and look what she's doing now.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, and that is mind-blowing. And it gives you the incentive, like, I just don't want to give up.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think anybody, I mean, obviously I haven't been through everything, and there's things that people have told me, and I'm like, I've never been through that, I couldn't imagine. But you have two choices. You can either let it define you, which, you know, my first time it did, and I was almost like ready to take my life, and God saved me and said, nope, we got things to do, you know, when I was 20. But I also think if you let it define you, then it wins. No matter what it was. No matter if you have, like, you know, the traumatic trauma like me, or you don't have something so bad. Nobody's as worse or not worse or whatever. Well, you can't compare it. So I feel like you either let it define you and stop fighting, or you just keep going. And I just decided to make something out of it. And here's
So
Lady
you,
Fan.
so you use it to
Yes.
build something.
Yes.
Instead of it defining you, you use it to help build your future.
Yeah.
And what, what your life can be and what you can bring to the table and what you can bring to other people and inspire other people.
Yeah.
And I love that you decided to do the latter and let it build this wonderful
Yeah.
thing, this safe space for, for women. And, I'm sure there's men out there also who
Yeah.
love that and who have felt inspired. So for people in general, but especially for women who maybe have struggled with that, I love that you have kind of created this whole thing. And I think it's not just the gym. I think it's a feeling. I think it's a safe space. I think it's motivation and empowerment. And I think that's probably more important than just the gym itself. I think, and that's what ultimately I feel like is probably what you wanted to do.
Yeah. At first I wanted to just dance, obviously, 'cause it's my favorite. Let me shake my butt. But I feel like I'm proving fitness isn't one size fits all. I'm not a size 2. When I started, I was blacking out teaching. I remember at the rec center, I actually fell down because I blacked out while I was teaching, because I was so anorexic. I mean, I was starving myself. It was like, oh, I had this little thing, and then I'm going to go teach this intense class. But it was like, and I remember that moment, and I'm like, what am I doing with myself, And my kid, at his first birthday, we saw pictures years later, and it sticks out to me. He's like, who is that? I'm like, that's me. He didn't realize me. I was so skinny. He didn't realize I was his mom because I was so different. And I feel like when I built this, it was, okay, I'm going to build a ladies only 6 years ago. But as I started doing it, I wanted girls to find their worth and to be inspired and to walk in here with the world's torn us apart. We've all been through things. The world's torn us down. There's bullies, there's mean girls. That you can walk out of here and have more confidence. I have husbands message me, thanks for letting my wife have confidence. You're welcome. Thanks for letting her learn that new dance on that sassy night. I'm like, you're welcome. I got you. And it's like, in the pictures, they'll be like, look at my boyfriend in that bathing suit. And I know him, and I'm just like, I did that. Like I helped them have the confidence to walk and be like, hey, honey, or whatever. Yeah. And to me, that's more important than you tell me you lost 100 pounds. Like knowing that you can be confident and knowing that you can be like, this is who I am, this is my body, I'm curvy, it's fine, that's what I'm here for. And to have fun. We gotta have fun.
Yeah, right. I love that. So let's talk about your classes. I know you also have a gym also across the street. So I love that you have your studio, and then you also have a gym where you can also do personal training. And so you're kind of a one-stop shop, which is fantastic. So talk about your business now, what you offer, and how that kind of all works.
Okay, so if you're local to me, you can do the classes, which I'm mostly known for. And then if you are into the gym and you enjoy doing that, like doing your own thing, not having anybody around, I have a 24-hour gym. It's, just go in, you have a coach, you go do your thing. I'm there sometime doing personal training. And obviously, I'm never going to leave you. So if you come and you're like, I don't know what this is for, I'm like, I got you. I would never not leave you. Or I'll be like, that's not right. I'm bad about that. Okay. And then if you can't get here because, you're busy or you have everything going on, you can do virtual classes, which you can access them from YouTube anytime. Do them whenever you want to. I have girls here like, this is my favorite class. I've done it 6 times. And I'm like, there's like 7 other classes since then, but okay. Doing their own thing. And then I have girls actually teaching now for me, which is, as a fitness instructor, building a company, that's probably one of them like dreams that you want, that you never ever think that you can have. And when I did my first one in October last year, I did it right after I turned 37. Like it was like my birthday was Friday. I turned 37, and I turned 37 the next day. I was like, here we go. We're going to do this, And that was probably one of the moments I was actually proud. I'm like, I did this. Like I actually built this. I have, have everything I dreamed of, but that was never in my goal because I didn't think it was reachable. Like it's just one of them big things. You're like, okay, so I do have girls teaching, even in the UK, which Sam is amazing. I have them all over the United States right now. And it's kind of mind-blowing when I sit down and think about it. It gets me a little nervous. I'm like, okay, here we go. But they're doing it, and they're, teaching my dances, and they're teaching my routines, and the girls in their towns love it. Like, I get messages from them, and they're like, oh my gosh, it's so good. I'm like, can I visit? Can I come dance with you? And they're like, come on. I'm like, you're too far. I do think that there's so much I have going on, and I have the active line that you can do. There's nothing that you can't say, I can't do it. It's $20 a month to do unlimited classes on virtual, or it's a $5 drop-in class. I'm like, give up a coffee, give up a Big Mac. You can,
$20 is just
Yeah.
It's nothing
Crazy.
nowadays.
No, and I did it that way so any girl who needs me can find me and I can help, and I started Pinterest live classes and they're free, we're just working out with weights and stuff and body weights, but they're free out there for girls who are like need a 20-minute workout, while the kids are asleep or whatever. They're new. There's no way you can say I can't work out. There's free stuff out there I have, and there's, drop-in classes and everything. I'm going to put my hands in every fire to help every girl that I can. So that way they never feel left out.
And so your classes, though, are at night.
Yes, I have 5:30 and 6:30 Monday through Thursday, and Saturday morning at 9:30.
Okay. And then if they want to do some personal training, then they can kind of contact you.
Yeah, they just have to
and
contact
kinda-
me. Yeah.
So what is the best way to contact you?
So the best way is either on ladyfitstudio.com, which is my website and takes you to my email, or you can find me on any social media. It's either my name, Kaylin Arnold, or Lady Fit Studio.
And where is this beautiful studio located?
So I'm actually on the Bristol Highway down here by myself, and I absolutely love it. So I'm actually, the studio is 3915 Bristol Highway, and then the gym is actually across the street behind Shell and the car wash. So if you need coffee before you come see me, it's completely fine. I get it. I'm a little much some days.
I just want to know where you get all your energy at. I mean, you're always like,
I'm naturally hyper, both of my kids are. So I have a kid who is actually more hyper than I am. Yeah, but I'm like, maybe I have like ADHD and I still know it. I probably am. And I can be teaching, and what's great is I'll mess up. I'm like, welcome to Lady Fit, and I'm Kaylin, y'all, the owner. I made that dance up and I still messed up. I honestly have always been this hyper. And I've always like worked multiple jobs, and I've done multiple things. And I crash usually at 9 o'clock, but other than that, I'm good. I get up.
Just like hit a wall. And
Yes, I'm like, I'm done. I'm done, ready to talk to me. But I get up and hit the ground running because I'm excited. Like, I really am excited about life. I'm excited about what I'm doing, and I'm living my dream that I never thought I could. As a divorced mom and, the marriage failed and all that, you think, well, this is it. I have a crappy past. I have depression. I have all these things. But it's like, no, I have everything I've ever dreamed of and never thought I'd actually get. But I'm sitting here fighting to show other ladies that if you have a dream, go for it. If you want that job, go for it. If you have, this big idea that's crazy and that people are like, that's dumb, go for it, because it's not dumb. Somebody invented the pool noodle. It's not dumb. And that's my motto every day. Ladies only isn't normal, and I'm completely fine with that. But like, give me another year, I will make ladies all normal.
Lady Fit Empire.
Yeah, I'm building it.
Yeah.
Little by little, brick by brick.
Yeah.
I let them throw, and I'm like, I will stack that up. Thank you. I got this.
Love it.
Well, thank you so much
Yes.
for sharing like your story, your journey, your past with us. We love you. We appreciate everything you've done for us and for Women Everywhere. And stay tuned next week for the episode of Selling Tri-Cities. We are selling more than hooks. Deuces.
They were like, what do I do with my hand?
Like I say deuces or ciao after everything. Like
Ciao.
deuces, ciao.
Ciao, be like, wait a minute, we're not
Ciao.
even. Ciao.
If you are a small business owner or an entrepreneur and would like your business highlighted, please call 423-741-2564 or email aubrey.tellerico85@gmail.com. We would love to showcase your business.